And here we go. Digital Adele back with another Hoops Profile Beyond the Backboard podcast for you with my co-host, Matt Hanifan. Now, we're not talking about size mattering today. How are you doing today, Matt?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I realized this a few minutes before I got on. It's like 85, 90 degrees outside, and I'm wearing a sweatshirt because I'm a crazy person.
Yeah.
But I'm doing good. I wear sweatshirts and hoodies all the time.
Sweet.
It's like a comfort thing. It's also cold in here in my room, so.
Oh, gotcha. What happened to my camera? Let me turn that on and turn it back off. There it is, fixed. The IT special.
I'm doing good. How about you? How about yourself?
I'm doing awesome, outstanding. Can't wait to go to the NBA Summer League. For those that don't know, I will be in the building, and I think you will be too, right?
If my credential gets approved, which
if your credential gets approved,
yeah,
gotcha.
I know for Eternal, his didn't get approved for this last year, and the year before that. For me, it was just last year.
So it's not looking good.
I can't control what happens.
But I'll be there regardless. That's fine.
Either way.
But anyway, let's talk about the main thing today, which is people going back to school. There's been some surprises. There's been some people that I thought were going to go back. But man, I was actually absolutely shocked. Where would you like to start this thing off with people going back to school?
Who was the most? I mean, I know we did like a very quick run over some of the guys who were either keeping their name in the draft waters or who were going back to school. Or it was mostly guys who were going back to school who withdrew their name. The deadline was last night, just for the people wondering. We're recording this on Thursday, May 29th. The deadline was Wednesday, May 28th. I believe at midnight Eastern, and then there was like a flurry of players who were withdrew their name from the draft to maintain college eligibility. Whether they're in the portal or not is a different discussion, but I want to say most of these guys were just going back to their previous schools. But I guess who was the most surprising to you?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. First and foremost, though, big shout out to Ryan. Be like Ryan. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. And join our playback as well if you want to see kind of some of the behind the scenes before the show is made as well. Ryan says Eternals on that no-fly list.
That's tough, man.
Oh, man, yeah. Poor Eternal. I guess my biggest surprise... All right, let me put it this way. Yannick from Penn State, the big man. Niederhauser didn't go back to school is my biggest surprise. I didn't think there was any chance in heck that he wasn't going to go back to school. I didn't think he was necessarily going to go back to Penn State. It's not because he's not athletic. Like, we know he's athletic.
Right.
But there's just a lot of things in his game that need to be polished and need to be changed. Like, I don't see how he's guaranteed to be a first-round pick. I don't see that.
I don't think it's based on a first-round guarantee. To me, this is where I think, like, some perspective, it's different for every player. I think for him specifically, where he was 2 or 3 months ago in terms of the pre-draft process, like where he was ranked versus, you see all of these guys going back to college versus where I think he's at now and what I think him and his camp are content with. Like, I think I was more so looking at it as like I think he's getting like a top 45 or a top 50 guarantee, maybe not a first guarantee,
right?
But like he's kind of in that middle of the second round. Oh, look, I can earn a two-way contract instead of spending the entire season in the G League and not earning much money with or without a two-way contract. Like I think now for him, considering how thin this is after the fact with all these guys going back, I think for him and his camp are more satisfied with like, okay, I might have a two-way guarantee, or maybe if I'm lucky, I get a second round exception, which is really double. It's like $1 million or something like that. Like,
and it would be like a 4-year deal, like 4
year. Yeah, it could be. I think 3 or 4 year deal, and I think that for him is like, okay, I'm good with that. Versus maybe some of these other guys who went back to college, like I know we'll probably talk about it in a little bit, like Pettiford or Phylon. They're like, oh, I thought I was a top 25 guy. and now I'm not getting that kind of buzz, or at least I'm not getting that quote unquote guarantee. And so I'm not going to be satisfied with being, a second round pick, potentially not having a guaranteed contract
Right.
first go around. Like, I think this is where I think like perspective comes in with some of these guys. And so I
Do you
think
think he didn't get a good NIL offer to come back to school?
that could be the case. I don't know if he was in the portal or not. I don't think he was.
I don't think he was either.
Obviously, Penn State's still a Big Ten program. I can't speak to what their NIL situation looks like.
Right.
I know that's a football school, not necessarily a basketball program.
Linebacker, you baby.
Yeah, and so it's like maybe not.
Yeah.
There's a world where it was also kind of like even, and he's just like, actually, no, I'm gonna make my bet here,
right?
And go to the NBA and not, because I mean, again, he wasn't on most of our radars a couple months ago, and maybe that's a me thing. Like maybe I wasn't as aware as I should have been.
Right.
But for him, like considering he had such a great pre-draft process, he flew up these boards, whether it's based on what he did at the combine, private workouts, whatever the case is, or a combination of everything. And now he's in this position where he's just like, you know what, all these guys are going back. I'll be the one to take advantage of, this opportunity of potentially being a middle of the second round, mid second round pick, or somewhere in that range, and go from there.
Who did you think was the most surprising guy to go back for you?
I think it was Philon.
Yeah, LeBaron Philon's right up there. Now, that being said, like Pettiford, I thought Pettiford viewed himself as a top 20 player. Mm-hmm. And if he wasn't going to be in the top 20, like borderline lottery, he wasn't going. That's why I thought Pettiford would go back. But Philon, I didn't really get the sense that that's what he was thinking, because I knew he'd go in the first round, but I didn't think he considered himself to be like a borderline lottery pick. So, like, to me, that's what he would have to be thinking, because I didn't see him getting past 25. Like, I didn't think there was any chance he'd get past 25 in this draft.
Are you talking, wait, Philon or Pettiford?
LeBaron Philon or Pettiford?
Yeah, this is, I don't know. For me, this is such a dumb name for what I'm about to say. My Neat Clifford corollary is when, like, I know there's a history of this happening to different players in the draft, and so that's why they go back to school. But when my best player leaves, either running out of eligibility, or in this case, for Alabama, both Sears and Nelson,
right,
and my usage can go up, and I have a potential, and I can potentially, get my numbers or improve in that way and be a lead option or one of the lead options. I don't know what Alabama's roster looks like necessarily, but I'm guessing Philon's going to be, he's going to be a full-time
He's going to be the lead
guy. Be one of the top 2 or 3 guys on that roster.
Yeah,
I would imagine. So for him, that's where it's just like, okay, I'm going to take, like, obviously I'm young enough. I was a freshman. I'll just improve my stock for next year. And I'm using Neat Clifford as the example because he's close to my heart.
What do you think about Pettiford? Because he's going to start, obviously, this next year.
Yeah.
There's going to be a really good guard next to him. And Keyshawn Hall is going to be taking a lot of usage as well. So, like, that team is loaded.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm just interested in what that's going to do for him, because, I mean, it gives him an opportunity to show his playmaking and facilitating chops, not just the scoring. But if they can get into, like, national title contention talks, which that team is deep, but again, there's going to be some heavy hitters coming back, like Florida's just going to be a monster. And speaking of that, Alex Condon, he withdrew his name, which I think was the right move for him.
Yeah. Boogie
Fland. Boogie Fland's a big loss for this draft, I think, as well. Just the guards, the number of guards that went back to school just really are going to hurt this class, which is going to set us up to compare this class to the 2024 class. And we're going to kind of see how that goes. But your boy, I was really surprised Miles Byrd went back. I really liked what I saw from Miles Byrd in the workouts and when he was around other people that were contending to go at the top of the second round,
Mhm.
I just thought his versatility really stood out.
I just think for him, I think it's I shot 27% from three in conference play,
Yeah.
and I shot 30% from three in just throughout the entire season. I wasn't getting good enough intel from others that they were going to bank on what I did in Chicago versus what I did over those 30 games, which is
Right.
fair. But for him, like San Diego State, I wrote about this earlier today. San Diego State's my favorite to make it out of the conference, and I think they're a tournament team, like they are most years. So that's not much of a surprise.
Right.
But that team's going to be loaded for him specifically. I think his usage and the spacing will be better for him.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I think that will only benefit him because, like, San Diego State typically, I don't know if it'll be, I think it'll be a little bit different next year, but typically offense is a clogged toilet.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what it
that
was
offense
last
is
year.
rough.
Yeah, that's what it was last year for him. And he didn't help with that because of how
No.
poorly he shot. And I just think he's going to improve his game. He needs to get stronger. Like, that's something else that, like, his finishing around the rim, inconsistent in the half court just because he's not super duper strong. Him being able to get to the rim when he's not just attacking closeout,
Right.
it was a little bit murky at times, in part because of the spacing, but he's just not strong enough. And so I think for him specifically, there are things to work on, as same thing with some of these other guys.
Yeah, no doubt. Absolutely. Speaking of things to work on, Otega Owe took his talents back to college, and he's going to really have to work on, I think, because of his size. Like, his size was really an issue in terms of like height and all that. He's going to have to be a better ball handler, a better attacker and finisher at the hoop, and he's going to have to really improve that 3-point shot. Because defensively, I think he's an NBA player already. I think defensively he is. Offensively is the issue. Like, where does he fit in an offense? What could he bring to the table offensively? Because he's not going to get on ball usage in the league like that.
No.
So he's going to have to be able to do a little bit of everything, include shoot the ball. Jameer Watkins staying in. I really like the improvement from last year to this year for Jameer Watkins. What are your thoughts on him staying in the draft?
I think we talked about this on here. Was it Giovoni that said that, like, he has like I don't remember the exact number, but like a multi-million-dollar offer from the end? Like, that was surprising that he didn't go back and take that. Not to say he was right or wrong. I'm not trying to say he was, incorrect or correct with that. Maybe that was false. I don't know. I can't speak to that.
Right.
But just based off of what Giovoni said, I was a little bit surprised. And this was why he said this during one of the combine scrimmages, for people wondering. I was a little surprised that information was leaked and disclosed, and that he still kept his name in the draft. But hey, good for him. Like, he was really good during those scrimmages. So I'm
Absolutely.
guessing he heard some good intel from people that he needed to hear good intel from. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
That didn't make any sense the way I just said that.
No, I mean, it didn't make sense the way you described it, but I understood what you were getting at. He was hearing good things from the executives and his agents and his camp about what teams were thinking he could be at the next level and how he could translate. And I think he really proved a lot when he was playing against Pettiford, being able to lock him up one-on-one and full court press, because that's how he's going to have to make his bones in the NBA. And then he really showed a maturity about his game in the scrimmages. He wasn't trying to force anything. He wasn't trying to be a superstar, but he just took what came to him. And he made a lot of his open shots. He got to the rim, finished in transition, showed his speed. And I think defensively, a lot like Otega Owe, that's how he's going to make his bones in the NBA. And I think he was content with that. Because last year, if you remember, his college tape was okay, wasn't great. He got to the combine, looked completely outclassed. And he came back this year just a completely different person. So he's one of those guys that growth was an important factor, I think, in staying in this class.
And he was at a new place.
And he was at a new place. Yep. Last two guys. Now, there's some more people that are interesting on here. So we're going to do the comparison next time because we're going to run out of time. Only got 30 minutes today. To the 2024 class and the 2025 class. Yaxel Lindenborg, your guy, going back to Michigan. What are your thoughts on that?
Money talks.
Yeah, money. Get Mo Bucks.
Yeah, money talks, man. Michigan, I think, supposed to be. I want to say I saw somewhere. I don't know any of these rosters for next year. I should probably do my homework on that.
Oh, it's fine.
But Michigan, I know, is supposed to be like pretty good next year. And again, for him specifically, like he got the extra year of college eligibility because of the JUCO rules. He just, I think, sees this as an opportunity to make a lot of money, and good for him, like rightfully so. And he gets to do it at like a premier program in the Big Ten. Like Michigan's a good team. Like they're going to probably be a tournament team, I would imagine, or at least in the hunt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless if their season completely falls in their face.
Well, they have that guard Donaldson. He's really, really good.
He is.
He's really, really good. So I think Lindenborg, Donaldson, and again, my brain isn't in college basketball mode. It's focused on all the prospects, so I can't go down their whole roster. But I think that pairing is awesome. And the fact that he received $3 million in NIL money, according to CBS Sports, to go back to school.
I didn't know it was that much. Not surprising, honestly.
Pretty good payday.
Yeah, like, heck, if I was 22, 23 years old on the fence about joining the draft as a potential, top 40 guy.
Yeah, I had him like 45th. So yeah, like he'd have been 45 for me somewhere in the draft, like 45 to 40. So yeah, second round pick or $3 million and go to college, and college life's not that bad, especially when you're like a fifth year senior and you don't really have that many classes.
Yeah, I don't know what my big board said specifically because I did have to make cuts based on guys who already took their name out. I want to say he was in like the late 20s, early 30s for me. Like I liked him as a player. Not the perfect player, obviously. He's much older than, the average prospect in this year's class specifically. But I do like the player, and I'm very interested to see how he takes up this. Because, he consistently playing not like one of the better mid-majors in the American Athletic. But, like, obviously they just fell short of the tournament. Like him consistently being in those big games against big competition. Like I'm very interested to see how he fares.
He could be the next season's Neek Clifford. Depending on how
I wouldn't go that far.
Depending on how he performs.
No, he's not.
Neek Clifford, Hall of Fame college basketball player, according to Matt Hanifan.
Listen, he is. He's not Neek Clifford. I have a Mount Rushmore.
Listen, no, but just answer this hypothetical. Put on your Miami Heat fan hat and your Mountain West hat. Neek Clifford is the 20th overall pick to the Miami Heat. What is Matt Hanifan's reaction when that occurs?
Start Stevens and Neek Clifford opening night. Because you just reunite them. Let's see what happens. That's really
Matt's head explodes open night.
Yeah, like
man.
No, I mean it would objectively be cool. Like
yeah,
I was on with the Miami Heat beat guys the other day, and they were asking because we did a mock, and they were asking me like the top three, and at the time it was like Jace, Neek, and I can't remember who the last person was who was there, but I was just like, yeah, Neek is like firmly in my top three.
Dude, his advanced stats are really, really good. Like
he was the best rebounder in the country for someone who's 6'5".
Insane. Yeah, crazy. Insane. Yeah, he's way better than I think people realize. They're gonna see the draft age and be like, "Oh, he's 23." I don't know, but dude's really, really talented.
And we've talked about this before. Like I think I'm still a little on the fence on taking him at 20, depending on how the board falls. But like, and I know his role isn't going to be the same, but
Well, I'm going
I
to
just
say
think
this
he's like
though,
a
Matt.
plug and play guy right away that can fit a role that if you need him to.
But I'm going to say this. You're going to have to hope a guy falls 5 spots, or you may have to reach 5 spots sooner to get a guy.
Sure.
The guy that you want. The way the board's shaping up, that's what I think is going to happen. You're either a guy's going to have to fall to you, or you're going to have to pick a guy 5 spots sooner than you normally would, or you think you would, to get the guy that you would probably want.
And I think that applies to a bunch of teams in that area, not just.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Speaking of that area, and I didn't think he was even close to the bottom of the first. I thought he was more of a second round guy. Actually, I kind of had him top of the second round, mid second round. Alex Condon going back to Florida. I think it's a good move.
Yeah,
I think it's a good move. I didn't think he was ready. I didn't think he was ready for he didn't really live up to the physicality in college.
He got abused in that tournament, man.
Oh my God.
They won they won the title. Good for Florida. He's a national champion. Good for him. It was not a good tournament from him, man.
Dude, that national title team coming back with Boogie Fland, Xavier Lee, Alex Condon. What's that other dude? How do you pronounce it?
Xavier Lee's getting like, I think he signed like an international like shoe deal.
Oh my God!
And he's making like $6 million and I like it was
unbelievable. I love it. I love it. People are gonna fall in love. The people that don't watch Princeton basketball, that aren't not psychos like you and I, when they see Xavier Lee play, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God!"
I think you watched him more than I did,
dude. I've watched so much Xavier Lee tape. Yeah, I love that kid's game. The last one I want to talk about today is, well, I'm going to mention briefly, Milo Suzan went back to school. Milo Suzan. 100% the right move. But Cedric Cowherd from Washington State, committed to Duke, is staying in the 2020 NBA draft. In our 5 Reasons Discord, he is the darling of the Discord. There are people pounding the desk that he should be taken in the top 20 of this draft. He's 6'6", 7'2" wingspan. He's a lights out shooter. His advanced metrics when shooting are unbelievable. Defensively, not so much. He can facilitate a little bit also. His handles are not great. Like, not great at all. The way he facilitates is out of like double teams in a low post because he'll post up on the block. What are your thoughts about Cedric Cowherd staying in this draft?
I think it's a lot of like he crushed. I can't crush the measurements and everything at the combine. He only played 6 games last year because of a torn labrum.
Yep.
Like that. Just on the surface, don't love that.
6 games of Division I basketball. He played previously Division III basketball.
Well, he was at Eastern Washington.
Well, that's what I was going to say. After Division III, he then went to Eastern Washington.
Yeah.
Played, 2 seasons at Eastern Washington?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 seasons, 1 as a full-time starter.
Ooh, that's scary to me. I mean, I love the growth, seeing growth year after year.
Right.
But that's scary to me. Only playing 6 games in that major conference, though, like on that big stage. I don't know.
I want to see how old he is.
I think he's only 21.
He's going to be 21 on draft night.
Right.
Turning 22 in September.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, he's, again, not super old. For someone with 3 years of college experience or Division I college experience, plus the D3 stuff, he is younger than I thought.
Yes.
I don't know. Like, again, this is another one where, like, the perspective, like, maybe he's hearing intel that he wants to hear.
Oh, he definitely is hearing intel he wants to hear.
So, like, yeah, whether that means he's a top 25 guy, a first-round pick, early second, like, he's hearing.
Would you take him at 20?
No.
Not even a consider. No.
No. And it, I've made jokes about this. This isn't the reason why, but I just can't do it with the name.
You can't because of the name.
I can't do it because of the name. But I think, like objectively speaking, I just think there's going to be other guys that I like who are going to be there at 20 who I would rather throw the dart on than him. Like, I would take Fleming over him if he's there. I would take Traore, Nick Clifford, Jace Richardson, Carter Bryant. Like, there are guys that I would, Ben Seraph.
Definitely Ben Seraph. I don't know if I'd take Carter Bryant over him. Carter Bryant has some concerns for me.
He does, but I would just I'm more willing. I would like to bet on the upside with him than I would Coward at 20.
The only reason I say that is that year after year growth with the ability, like his shooting ability is rare.
Sure.
Like his shooting ability is really rare. With that wingspan, I think that growth is what would put it over for me. But I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm just saying for me, it's intriguing. I'm not.
I was watching Sorber today.
God.
I would take him over. Like, there's just guys.
That's not even a question, Matt.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, like, even with the foot,
right.
He'd like chop off his foot. I'd still probably take.
Man.
No, actually, I don't hate Cedric that much.
Listen, sign me, like, regardless of who's left on the board at 20. If you said you had to take Thomas Sorber or whoever's left on the board, like, you don't get to know. I'm taking Sorber right now. Sign me up for that ticket. But
there's a damning video of Trey Johnson in a gas mask.
Oh my God! No, wait! I take it all back. I take it all back. But guys, that's all we have for today. I have a hard out at 7:00. I have to do a podcast for 5 Reasons Sports. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Matt, tell the people where they can find you, follow you, and get more of your work.
You can find me at NPH_824_ on Twitter. You can find me at hothoops.com, mountainwestconnection.com, and vendettasportsmedia.com, as well as playback.tv/hoops profile, which we are at right now, and playback.tv/5RSN.
Absolutely. So we'll see you guys next time. Leave us a comment on YouTube of what your biggest surprise was from this withdrawal list. We'll see you next time.